Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know time, energy, the highest forms of currency, my G. I know they got y'all here chasing that money, chasing that moolah, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. Time, energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. We are on our way to the top, well over 40,000 subscribers, on our way to 50K. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new investors, all my new subscribers, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. Listen, man, I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in this lane. And if you merge into this lane, we gonna crash out, that's for sure. Now, do me a favor, man. Wipe your feet off before you walk into the big house. Wipe off your feet, my G's. Listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing every time we go live right here on Grown Man Business TV. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, listen, word on the street is that Tory Lanez was stabbed in a California prison and was airlifted to an outside hospital, and you know, he's in critical condition. I mean, absolutely nasty work. I got a lot of people in the DM. GMB TV, what's your perspective on the situation with Tory Lanez? I mean, GMB TV, I mean, what you think? I mean, what's your thought process? You understand what I'm saying? And one thing for sure, two things for certain, Tory Lanez ain't ducking no fades. Tory Lanez ain't ducking no fades. That's actually one of my favorite songs on the latest album he just dropped, Peterson, Fire album. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, it's so many DMs. I said, let me go ahead and address this real quick before I go and do what I got to do. So many people in the DMs talking about Tory Lanez right now. So you already know, before we get into this content, before we get into this information, right? You know, we got to do some customizations to the chat. Anytime I get in here and I start dropping this game, giving y'all that pure dope straight off the brick into the albums, right? Straight off the brick into the bottles, that's my bad. You know, the higher ups and the elites are always paying attention. The higher ups and the elites are always trying to muffle the channel. They try to shadow ban the channel. I mean, it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. So before we get into this, let me do some customizations to the chat. Big salute, man. Make sure you wipe your feet off before you step into the big house. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. Make sure you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk about Tory Lanez, man. We're going to have a conversation about Tory because, you know, it's something that got to be said, man. It has to be said. It has to be put out there. And who better than Grown Man Business TV? Who better than me? You know what I mean? So let's see what we got here. Big salute to the chat, man. We're not going to be here long. We're going to get right into this information. All right? Big salute. Bam, you see that right there at the bottom of the chat, right? Listen, man, before you get in here with your Twitter fingers, doing your Twittering with all your Twitter fingers and your questions and your comments, using your Twitter fingers and all that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you are tapped into the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. And if not, it's all good. Get in the back of the class, close your mouth and open your ears and prepare yourself for this pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. All right? Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But you are in tune with the Realest right now. All right, Tory Lanez. Let's talk about T-Mobile. Let's talk about Tory Lanez. Right now, we all know what happened with Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, that is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. That's public information. We all know he was railroaded. That's an innocent man in prison. But, you know, we got to be honest, right? Tory Lanez went into a prison, and he denied PC. He went into a prison, and he said that he did not want PC. He did not want protective custody. He did not want to be in protective custody. Even though he's Tory Lanez, he's a public figure, he is in general population. All right? Now, I always thought that was weird because Tory Lanez is not a gangster. Tory Lanez is not a gangster rapper. Tory Lanez is not he's not a gang member. He has nothing to do with the streets in real life. In reality, Tory Lanez is he's not somebody that has to go into general population to prove himself. You understand? Like, You know, you got to understand when you really looking at this situation and you see Tory Lanez in general population, you got to ask yourself, why is he doing that? But hey, you know, to each his own, right? Tory Lanez is his own man. He wants to be in general population. He wants to be amongst the gangsters and the shooter. He wants to be over there, so that's where he's at. Now, once I listened to the Peterson album, that's where I really started seeing what was going on with Tory Lanez, and I rock with Tory. Again, it's free Tory over here at Grown Man Business TV. If you look into my archives and you look into my old videos, I've only been vouching and saying that Tory got railroaded. But when I listen to this Peterson album, I can tell that Tory is being engulfed in gang culture. He is being inducted. He is now, participating in gang culture, in prison activities. When you listen to the Peterson album, you hear Tory talking about putting hits on dudes. You hear Tory talking about dudes getting stabbed, dudes getting beat up. You hear Tory Lanez talking about running fades in prison. Now, again, being as though this is Grown Man Business TV, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, why are you running fades? You are Tory Lanez. You are from Canada. You are not a blood. You are not a Crip. You are not a gang member. You are not a street dude. You are an R&B/rapper talking about running fades in prison. So I know a lot of people in my DM, they saying, yo, G&B, you could tell they a little distraught. Yo, they stabbed Tory. Well, I'm here to tell you here at Grown Man Business TV, that's what come with that part of the game. Salute to the homie Tory, you know what I'm saying? And free Tory Lanez. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, Tory Lanez, I'm sure he's going to make it out of this situation. I'm sure they didn't delete him. He is going to be able to pull through. You understand? But when you go in the general population, when you running fades with gang members, when you putting hits and you talking about putting bags on people's heads and you engaging in prison politics, what you got to understand is getting stabbed up and all that come with the game. So I don't feel bad for Tory. I'm saying this is a part of the game, homie. This is what happens when you play in prison politics. You are at risk of getting stabbed up. You got enemies now. You running fades and you doing this and you doing that. You need to be aware of your enemies. You need to know that the Mexicans and the Aryan Nation and your Bloods and your Crips, you got enemies all around you. All right? And one thing for sure, two things for certain here at Grown Man Business TV, y'all already know I keep the receipts, right? So I'm going to let a receipt play. Salute to Chig News. Because I just want y'all to understand, when you engage in prison politics, when you engage in gang politics, this is what come with it. I thought it would have been better for Tory Lanez to go ahead and select high power, PC. It's nothing you gotta prove, my G. When you go to jail, the people say, yo, you a public figure. We putting you in PC, and you accept that. But Tory chose general population. Tory Lanez chose prison politics. He chose gang politics. So, to everybody in my DM that's concerned and feels some type of way, I can't bend, break, or fold. I can't be, biased when it comes. Look, Tory is taking fades. He ain't ducking no fades. Being is that the case, dog, you got to be cautious. You are susceptible to being stabbed up. You are in a position to lose your life. So again, salute to everybody that's locked in. Salute to everybody that feels some type of way. I mean, man, I might have got 100 DMs this morning. I might have got 100 DMs this morning saying, G&B, you need to go live right now. I was saying to myself, like, I'm going to wait. But looking at the receipts that I see, looking at what's going on, I said, I'm going to go ahead and just give y'all a quick synopsis. This is not going to be a long live stream. This is not something that I got to draw out. When you play in gang culture, it's a possibility of you getting your head blown off. When you play in prison politics, it's a possibility of somebody shoving that knife in you. All right, so big salute to the chat. AP, I see you in here. This ain't gonna be a long live stream, man. You know, we getting right to it. Tory, man, you might got five. I'm not sure how much more time you got left in this situation, but you might want to start moving like a real gang member. You might want to start moving like a real inmate. I'm gonna let this receipt play, and then I'm gonna come from one more angle because, you know, that was the main source. Tory chose general population. Tory already let us know through the album he ain't ducking no fades. Tory talking about putting bags on niggas and doing all this. Tory is engaging in prison politics. Well, this would come with that. But it's another angle that we're going to talk about as well. Because I don't want you to get this confused. It's still free Tory. But stand on grown man business. Stand on grown man business. Hey, Tory, if Tory survived this, it's going to elevate him. It's going to take him to another level. Yeah, he'll have some type of, I guess, street cred when he come out of jail, come out of prison. He'll have some street respect, I guess. But as a grown man, I'm telling you, that street cred don't mean nothing. That shit ain't going to do nothing for you, homie. You still Tory Lanez. You was who you was before you got here. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Talina, appreciate that 6-piece nugget. You already know how we give it up over here. Highly appreciate that. Let's look at this receipt. We gonna double right back. Big salute to the chat.
Here we go, you guys. Very unfortunate situation that I have to report to you guys. Well, let me say it like this. Unfortunate for some Tory Lanez fans, but if you're Megan Thee Stallion or Megan Thee Stallion fan, you're definitely celebrating right now. According to TMZ, Tory Lanez was stabbed this morning so bad that he was rushed to the hospital. Now, from what we know, Tory Lanez is not ducking any fades while he's in prison. From all the prison tapes he's been dropping, the album he just dropped, Peterson, a couple months ago, Tory Lanez has not been shy of telling us, yo, I'm in here really getting it in. I'm not being treated as a celebrity. I'm not in isolation. I'm here with the real people, real gangs, real fights. There was actually one time Tory Lanez was on a video call and a riot actually broke out. He even said it here on this interview with the Nelk Boys.
I'm in a cell, concrete walls surrounding myself, running fades back to back. I'm not tripping down the fades, but running fades back to back. And doing takes over the jail phone, and if I can do that through all of my pressure to myself, it tells me that.
Now, according to TM.
Now, I'm going to stop right there, right? You just heard Tory Lanez say he's in this prison running fades back to back. My whole thing was always, why are you running fades back to back, homie? You are not a part. You was never a part of this lifestyle. You was never a part of this culture on that level. Why would you have to go into a prison and run fades back to back? What are you proving, my G? What are you trying to prove? You understand? See, this where it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. Because you obviously trying to prove something to yourself or to somebody. And that pride, right? That ego-driven mentality is something that can get you killed. You got a lot to live for. It's a lot of dudes in there that don't got nothing to live for. They ain't got nothing. You running fades back to back to back for what? Salute. Yeah, exactly. Breezy Santana. Perfectly said, my G. And you a trophy on top of that. It's dudes in there that's looking at you and saying, you know, that's some clout I could get. Yeah, just like Pop Smoke. Yeah, that's a certain level of clout that come with taking your life. Now, that's going to segue me into this last angle, right? What a lot of y'all don't understand is this, right? When you go to prison, in the beginning, first year or two, It's all, it's all good. It's all love. You done made friends. You Tory Lanez. You got money. You got canteen. You running fades. You engaging in prison politics and all of that. But after a certain amount of time, all that celebrity, all the mystique, it just wears off. It wears off, B. And you know, now it's certain dudes that's looking at you as a trophy. It's certain dudes in there that got money already. It's certain dudes in there that don't need you for your canteen. It's certain dudes in there that you can't buy. And in due time, when that mystique start wearing off and we start looking at you as the real Tory Lanez, the real Daystar, when the Tory Lanez mystique wears off and now we start looking at you as that little dude that you always been with the bald spot. It's like that lame shit start coming about you. Now it get real, homie. It's like AP, I saw that. It's only gonna get worse for Tory Lanez in that prison. You done been stabbed up now, yeah. Yeah, that mystique, that shit don't look the same. It don't look the same, homie. It don't feel the same. You vulnerable. I ain't never been to prison, right? But in the small amount of jail time that I did do as a youngster, I remember these things. I remember when you first get to the jail and you start rubbing shoulders and y'all having conversations all night and y'all talking about this and y'all talking about that. And then after about a certain amount of time, because at the end of the day, we locked up. We watching TV all night, but after a certain amount of time, it ain't no women around. You start, certain inmates start getting agitated. Those conversations turn to arguments, and those arguments turn to fights. And those fights turn to stabbings, and those stabbings turn to murders. I'm gonna say that one more time. Those conversations turn to arguments, and those arguments turn to fights, and those fights turn to stabbings, and those stabbings turn to murders. That's a part of this prison and this jail thing a lot of y'all don't know. They don't tell y'all. All that gangster, all that mystique wears off, and now we're just men in prison, away from our wives, away from our girlfriends, away from our children, away from our mamas, away from money, away from reality. Tory Lanez ain't never been a gangster in my eyes. Always loved his music though. Talented young man. But I ain't never seen Tory Lanez as no gangster, as no fighter, none of that. So to be in jail talking about you running fades back to back, I don't know how, that never set well with me. That ain't you, homie. That ain't who you are. And now them real inmates, those real gangsters, they smell fear. They see blood on you. Now you vulnerable, Tory. All that Tory Lanez shit, all that we recording, all that canteen, Daystar, we getting money, all that shit just went out the window. Yeah, Nico Net Media, appreciate that 5-piece nugget, man. Pure facts. It's always, this is the part they don't talk about. When I saw the DMs, I got about 100 DMs. The downloads instantly downloaded. This is easy talk right here. This is easy, pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. This is easy money. When did Daystar, Tory Lanez have to run fades back to back? What in the hell is going on? You are a Canadian. Why are you running fades back to back, homie? Now, I wanna go into another angle, right? Because the downloads are still downloading, and this has to be said as well. I want y'all to look at this receipt, and then we're gonna double back and we're gonna get into this next angle. Big salute to the chat. Run them likes up. I need 100 likes in here. Get them likes up. Look at this. Look, 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 look. Look. Now, right? I want y'all to look at that receipt. I want y'all to take that receipt in, and I want y'all to follow me on this. This picture right here was taken recently, maybe a week ago. I saw this picture right here hit the net, or Tory Lanez and 4 other inmates in prison, you know what I mean? Looking like he been working out, you know what I mean? Looking real comfortable. Looking like he been working out. That's one thing for sure. 2 things is he's looking real comfortable in this photograph. And when I saw this picture, I said to myself, damn, you know, the homie Tory working out. He got some dudes around him. He looking real comfortable. But again, you got to understand something. You can't never get comfortable in prison. And it's not a coincidence that, you know, a week after this picture is sent and hits the net, a week, not even 2 weeks, Tory Lanez gets violated. He gets stabbed up. You standing around 4 or 5 inmates in this picture, and y'all all looking like y'all riding or dying for each other. So how is it that you get stabbed up? Because these dudes in this picture ain't your homies, homie. These dudes in these pictures ain't your friend. They ain't your homies. They not your comrades. These is opportunists. These are prisoners who are doing a lot of time in prison. Been away from pussy for a long time. And we got one. You know when you see that lame dude come around and hey yo, yo, we got one right here. Yeah, we got one right here. He giving everybody canteen. We got one. Cause if you was really standing strong with your homies like this, ain't no way somebody would have been able to get close enough to you to put that knife in you, slice you up. Get you they air flighted you up out that prison and took you to a nearby hospital. Critical condition. Again, man, you get into this prison, you start rubbing shoulders, y'all start having these late night conversations. You know, we getting canteen, we eating together, we rapping together. Those conversations turn to arguments. Those arguments turn to fights. Those fights turn to stabbings, and those stabbings turn to critical condition or murder. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look. You can't get comfortable in prison, homie. This ain't no vacation. This ain't no gang initiation. I don't know what Tory is on, but I'm going to tell you like this. You was who you was before you got here, Tory. You was Tory Lanez. You a singer. You a playboy, man. You get all the girls and all that. You was always that. We never knew or ever seen. So why, you in there running fades, homie, they playing you out of position. And if you keep playing with these dudes, if you keep befriending these prisoners, these inmates, somebody gonna put your ass on a shelf. You gonna be a trophy for one of these dudes. You gonna be a trophy. It's gonna be an inmate in there that's gonna be able to say, yeah, I deleted Tory Lanez. I'm smoking that Tory Lanez pack. You might want to smarten up, my G. I thought you was smarter than that. But you got to understand, you was who you was before you got here. You was a damn near bald-headed, big-head R&B singer. Yeah, head bigger than all outside, bald all around the edges and all that. You ain't part of that. Now, we gonna end this right here. Tory Lanez is a prime example to the youngsters out there that's thinking about committing a crime, that's thinking about catching a body, that's thinking about committing doing any type of situation that's gonna end up behind bars. Do your homework before you end up in prison. Because when you go to prison, homie, it's grown man business in there. And you could lose your life just like that. You know, was it worth it? Is it worth it? It's never worth it. Anytime you talk to these inmates, they always gonna tell you, I wish I never did that. You know, if I could turn back the hands of time, you know, it wasn't worth it. With that being said, Tory Lanez, take your ass to PC, homie. Take your ass to protective custody. That's where you belong at. You tried your hardest to swim with the sharks, and now look at you. You tried your hardest to swim with the sharks, and now look at your bald head, big alien head ass. Now they got you out there in the hospital. Yeah. Yeah. They put your ass in critical condition. I hope you make it out. But I want you to understand something. You are a victim now. You don't get to come out and say niggas stabbed you, sliced you up. You don't get no, you know, we don't respect the shooter. We don't respect the one who got shot. We respect the shooter. So if you feel like this is the game you want to play with general population and gang politics and all that, then what you need to do is you need to get out, get a swammy, go and get whoever got you. I would suggest you take your ass to PC. That's my message to old Daystar. That's my message to Tory Lanez. Get out of critical condition. Get well fast. Get well soon. Take your ass to PC where you belong at. Yeah. You know, public figures, celebrities, pedophiles, rapists, all of y'all belong in PC. But when you walk the yard, when you're playing prison politics, what you supposed to gotta do now is get out of this hospital, go back to your cell block, get you a swammy. You know them knives you was rapping about on Peterson? You know all that gangster shit you was talking about on that last album? I was listening. Yeah. Tory Lanez, I was listening. And you was talking about running fades, you know, putting bags on people's head, getting your ass shipped up out of here. You was talking real John Gotti, real gangster music. Well, now you gonna do something or your ass need to go to PC. Oh, salute Nico. Nico, hey, listen, man, I appreciate that 5-piece nugget. I'm just saying. After we get all the realness out the way, now we can have some fun with it. They got to looking at your bald-headed ass. See, one thing for sure and two things for certain. Your ass took that do-rag off. Them goddamn inmates said, oh, he ain't so tough. The George Jefferson all around the top of your goddamn yeah. Yeah, I don't think he that tough like that. I'm tired of listening to goddamn brown skin. I'm tired of you singing all around the goddamn jail. We trying to sleep at night and your bald-headed ass in here singing and rapping, tapping and skitting. Getting tired of that shit, Tory. Take your ass to sleep, man. Oh, no, I got to finish this album. We ain't trying to hear that goddamn album tonight, Tory. Hey, somebody get the swammy and all that. That's what they call it, the swammy, a shank. And stabbed your little ass up. Now you're all in the hospital. Ain't no more singing now. We can get some sleep tonight. Yeah. Yeah, Tory. When your ass get out the hospital, tell the warden you want to go to protective custody. You want to go to PC. Yeah, you in here singing. Yeah, you're doing all this goddamn singing and all that. Nigga, this prison, boy. This is jail. We don't want to hear none of that goddamn singing. Boy, hey, boy, you pop lock your ass to the PC. Hey, free Tory, man. I don't want this for you, Tory, but your ass in there running fades. Your ass should have went and got a swammy. And don't run no more fades, Tory. Go get a gun. Go get a knife. Go get a shank. You need a shank. You don't need to run no fades. You need to get a shank. You in there working out with your big muscles and all that. Yeah, you got your muscle. You getting your swole on. Ain't you getting swole? Getting your swole on and all that. Motherfucking little skinny inmate came in there and stabbed you up, sliced you up. You young boys better start realizing what y'all doing out here. Y'all better start thinking and making reasonable decisions before you end up in that goddamn prison. Why is Tory Lanez running fades, man? Nobody ain't asked them. Ain't nobody said to themselves, Tory Lanez is running fades back to back for what? Nigga, you ain't never was in a gang. You ain't sang about being a blood or a Crip. You are Canadian. Let me give you an example, right? I'm in California. I end up going to jail for whatever reason, right? When they come to me and say, where you from, cuz? Hey, blood, where you from? This on Pyru. I'ma say, man, I'm from Virginia, man. Say what, cuz? Man, I'm from Virginia, man. You from Virginia, cuz? I'm from Virginia, man. It ain't a fade I gotta run in this motherfucker, man. Now if you play with me, we gonna do what we need to do. But as far as running fades, man, I ain't gotta run no fades, nigga. I'm from Virginia. And most of the dudes from California, they gonna say, oh, he out of town. And they not gonna, why is you are a Canadian. You are from Canada. You and Drake, you ain't got to run no fades, man. And if you would have went to PC, we wouldn't have lost no respect. You are an R&B singer. You are Tory Lanez. We ain't gonna disrespect you because you was in protective custody. You obviously need protection. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that 5-piece nugget, man. Yeah, don't miss the, yeah, exactly. I don't want them to, but like I always say, Nico, like I always say, man, the message is in the madness. And I'm just having some fun with Tory, but the message is real. It's powerful. You young boys got to start thinking about what y'all doing. Now you in critical condition. Now I'm getting emails and DMs about you being stabbed up, and it's like, why was you even in a position? And I'm going to tell you something, homie. Sharks smell blood, man. Sharks smell blood, homie. You are in danger, Tory. Tory Lanez, your ass is in danger. Get your recording equipment, get all your canteen, and get your ass in protective custody. Now, if you don't do that, you go back to general population, and you don't put no work in, you did it all in vain, homie. It don't mean nothing. If you don't put in no work, they're going to do something to you again, man. Big salute to the chat. I'm going to do a video as well on a young boy that got killed. He got deleted out there in Philly, man. I can't think of his name, LGB or LBG. You know them dudes, these young guys with these weird ass abbreviations and all that. He called himself the voice of the youth, and he was a Philadelphia rapper, and he got shot and deleted on Mother's Day. And man, I'm gonna do a whole video on this because again, I lived in Philly for about 3 to 4 years, man, and Philadelphia is a violent place, boy. It's dangerous out there in Philadelphia. And I just think that it's so mind-boggling that we got all of these rappers and puppets from Philadelphia that want to give us $1 million worth of game, but y'all can't even stop the violence in y'all city. That y'all want to give us $1 million worth of game, and the young men, the youngsters in y'all city don't even respect y'all. Like that young man getting killed on Mother's Day, man, was nasty work. And downloads are definitely downloading, man. You know, Philly is full of Muslims. And I'm going off track because, you know, we talking about Tory, but I just think that it's wild that all the Muslims in Philadelphia are, and it's all this killing. So Islam, Muslims, all these Muslims, Philadelphia is full of Muslims, bro. So it's Muslims doing all the shooting and shit. And yeah, man, no, not PNB Rock. He got killed in Cali. This young man got killed in Philadelphia yesterday on Mother's Day. I can't think of his name, man. Let me see. Nasty work. I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit was terrible. That shit was terrible, man. I ain't gonna lie. And it's just furthermore, just what's the young boy name? Philly rapper LGPQUA Qua. LGP Qua. Let me see if I can find this young nigga. See if I can find him. LGP. Yeah, here you go. Crazy. Y'all might all, I'm sure y'all know this dude too. Y'all will recognize him soon as you see him. This dude right here. Look. This guy. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that. And I see that, you know, always me. Just because you Muslim just because you Muslim by title don't mean you Muslim by heart. But I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like Philadelphia, I done been all over the globe, bro. I done been everywhere. I done been to Thailand. I done been to Bangkok. I done been to a lot of places. I done drove all over America. I done been damn near to every state twice. And Philadelphia is full of Muslims, bro. I ain't never been a place where everybody done took their shahada. Everybody's Muslim. The kids is Muslim. The daddies, everybody, the adults, everybody is Muslim. And all the shootings come from people that claim to be Muslim in Philadelphia. So, you know, yeah, I just think that's something that's kind of like weighing on me, and I'm gonna let the downloads download before I deliver that message. But you know, I'm segueing that off of just saying youngsters got to be more careful about the moves they making. You know, youngsters got to be more patient and have more discernment in the decisions they making, because one split decision could lead you to your grave or lead you to prison in critical condition, like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez was in there with a billionaire, with Kylie Jenner. I think it was Kylie Jenner. He was in the pool with Kylie Jenner, a billionaire. She probably was going to top him off and everything. Kylie was feeling Tory, and he chose to leave with Megan Thee Stallion. He made a decision that landed him in prison. Either stay in here with a billionaire that's probably going to suck you off, or leave with a drunk, aggressive Megan Thee Stallion that's going to put your ass in prison. And he made the wrong decision, homie. This young man right here went to a cookout, he went to a block party and had that chain on, and word is they wanted that chain and shot him over the chain, and he lost his life, B. You got to be, only the strong is going to survive. Only the strong is going to make it, homie. And you got to be strong mentally. Just as much as you are strong physically, you got to be strong mentally. You got to have mental capacity on another level. Because everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody can't go. Everybody not gonna grow old. Everybody not gonna be free. So, you know, get well fast, Tory. Salute to Tory Lanez, man. RIP to this young man right here. I'm gonna do a whole live stream on that. And just stay. You gotta stay solid. You gotta stay grounded, man. You gotta be able to move at a higher frequency. You gotta be able to see through the smoke and mirrors. Tory Lanez is in critical condition right now. Get well, my G. You know, if the universe plays it right and plays in your favor, take your little ass to PC. Ain't nothing wrong with taking your ass to protective custody, homie. You are a public figure. Your ass going back to run more fades and all that, man. Get a knife, man. Put some work in. Your ass won't never get out of prison. Hey, Tory Lanez, if you do the work that you supposed to do, your ass ain't never gonna get out of prison. You gonna catch another charge in there. You gonna have to stab somebody. You gonna have to hurt somebody. You gonna have to kill somebody for what they did to you. If you not gonna do that, take your ass to PC, man. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Yeah, they say he got killed over his chain, man. He died. Shit is sad, B. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Let's see if I can find something. Y'all all know this dude. Y'all all know this dude, man. He went viral. He would do his little videos and all that. He would do his little videos and all that. Let me see if I can pull this up.
You ever seen every nigga you grew up with die in your face, but you cannot relate? You ever had to eat crumbs while the niggas you with at the table spit chicken fillet? I know cause I was the brokest and I ain't had nothing, that's why I got so much to say. Crazy we live in a world where a cop can just kill you just cause he don't like where you stay. I feel like niggas is sleeping on me, so I gotta turn up. Why you think that I'm snapping?
Young boy was nice, man, but he dead now. You feel me? Shit is it's really next level, man. So big salute to the chat, man. I ain't staying long on this. Get well fast, Tory. We gonna double back on this situation, man. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Run them likes up to 100, man. I need 100 likes in here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and all that. And we gonna tap in. Hit the subscribe button, man. I need 3 more subscribers, man. We'll be at 42,000. Hit that subscribe button and stop playing. Big salute to the chat, man. We running these numbers up. We having our way right now. Ain't no need for Tory Lanez to be running no fades, B. That nigga's crazy. You know what's crazy, man? You know, I used to live by that motto when I was younger. Feed the wolves. Feed the wolves, right? But the older I got, what I realized is, man, feeding the wolves is a lose-lose situation. It's just like feeding leeches. You know what I mean? If you don't feed, you know, if you feed the leech, you just grow a bigger leech. Feeding the wolves, right, is cool when you first feed them. It's just like I was talking about when Tory Lanez first got to jail. It's like when you first start feeding the wolves, it's all good. Everybody eating, everybody full. But those same wolves are going to start to want more. Those same wolves are going to start to become envious. It don't matter how much money you give them. It don't matter how much you feed them. They're going to want what you got. They're going to want your spot. See, it's not enough just to feed the wolves, because if I'm feeding you, then that mean I'm feeding you, right? But if I'm feeding you, then that mean I got a lot. I got more. I got more. So, and soon that food I'm feeding you, it ain't going to be enough to stop you from looking into my pockets to see what else is in there. Looking into my refrigerator to see what else is in there. You know, when I was young, I used to live by that. Feed the wolves and you'll be all right. But with knowledge and wisdom, in growth, I realized feeding the wolves is only prolonging your demise. Those same wolves is still coming for you, homie. Those same wolves is still going to eat you. Don't worry. But you feeding them is just prolonging the dinner. If you don't feed them, they going to eat you right now. If you feed them, they going to eat you next year. They going to eat you next year when they see that you feeding them, but they ain't got the big chain. They ain't got the big house. They ain't got the model wife. They ain't got the big bank account. I mean, you feeding them, but they ain't got what you got. So they want what you got. Now feeding the wolves ain't enough because they want what you got. Nipsey Hussle was feeding the wolves. He was feeding Big U at one point. Look how that turned out. So feeding the wolves is only going to prolong your dinner. They going to eat you. If they don't eat you today, they're going to eat you next year or the year after that. But just understand, rubbing shoulders with the wolves, period, you're going to get ate. Yeah. You know, my advice, right? Stay away from the wolves. Stay far away from them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Stand clear of the wolves, man. Let them do what they do. Don't feed them. Don't even, you feed a cat one time, he always comes back. Don't feed him once. Stay away from them niggas. Yeah, you shouldn't be nowhere where the wolves is at anyway, unless you a wolf. If you a wolf, then why would you have to feed the wolves? Y'all all wolves. Obviously, if you ain't a wolf, that's why you got to feed them, to keep them off you. Don't feed the wolves. Stay far away from them. That's my advice. Tory was in there feeding wolves in prison. He still got stabbed up. He didn't get stabbed up the first day. It took a year or so, but in due time, that little bit, what you feeding ain't enough, nigga. Somebody stab him up. Big salute to the chat. Yeah, man, I'm about to make some moves. Got some things that's taking place. I'm gonna keep y'all posted with that. Got some things that's about to happen. I'm not gonna talk about it until the ink is on the paper, but we got some things, man. We got some moves that we are making. So listen, man, you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You do know what I suggest, and I suggest that you tap in. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man Business. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the bricks into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing, and we not dressing nothing up. Get it to you straight raw, my G. Straight raw. No baking soda, no quinine, no fentanyl. We ain't putting it in the Pyrex. We ain't water whipping it. We ain't counter whipping it. I don't do none of that. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Tory Lanez, ain't no reason your ass need to be running no fades, man. You was who you was before you got to prison. You was an R&B singer, going bald, wearing your goddamn toupees with your goddamn, you had the George Jefferson with the hair all around the edges and all that. You was never a tough guy. It's no reason that you shouldn't be in protective custody until you get out of jail. But since you are in prison, playing and engaging in prison politics and in gang politics, all I can tell you, Tory, is this is a part of the game. This is what come with it, homie. Don't cry. Don't whine about it. Pull through. Pull through. But this is a part of the game, my G. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. So big salute to the chat. You already know how we giving it up. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You already know. You can tap in, you can tap out. You know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in, man.